Fractions. Let's see together what they are and how can we use it. Now, a fraction, very simply, is when we see two numbers divided by an horizontal line. And this means just that there is a division going on. And actually, 1 over 2 is exactly the same to write 1 divided by 2. And vice versa, every time we have a division, we can also write it as a fraction. Okay? What is the first thing we have to know about fraction? That we can write the same fraction in several ways. For example, this one can be written as 2 over 4. Do you see that is actually the same thing? Or can also be written as 3 over 6 or 4 over 8 and so on. So, if we can pass from this one to this one and so on forever, there should also be a way to pass from this one to this one and to this one to this one. Because normally, when we operate with fraction, we tend to use the simplest form possible. That means the form of the fraction with the smallest value possible. So 1 on top is smaller than 2 on top, and 3 and 4 and so on, and the 2 on the bottom is smaller than 4 and 6 and so on. So look, the value of all this is the same, but this one has the smallest numbers in it. So same fraction, just written in the simplest form. Now, how can we pass from some fraction to this one? Well, we just have to divide the numerator, the number on top, and the denominator, the number on top, bottom, by the same number. For example, I can divide 3 divided by 3, and I got 1. I can divide it 6 divided by 3 again. You see, I'm using 3 both top and bottom, so it's the same number. Now we'll get 2. So I reduce this fraction into the smallest I can find. That is this one. Okay? Let's take a look at this one. We have 8 divided by 4. They are both even numbers, so we know that we can divide it both top and bottom divided by 2. And we will get to 4 over 2. But look, now this actually is not the smallest form that we can find, because once again we can divide it both top and bottom by 2. And now we get to 2 over 1, or 2 if you prefer. So this is actually the simplest form we can find, but we have to do several steps. Now, there is some way that we can find to just do one step, one division, and pass from every fraction to its simplest form. Well, it is, and it's called find the highest common factor. In this case, we have to find the highest common factor of 8 and 4. And to do so, we just took the prime numbers. They are 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, 13, 17 and so on. And we find the smallest prime number that we can use to divide 8. In this case is 2, and the result of this division would be 4. Now we found the smallest prime number that we can use to divide 4 is still 2, and we get 2. Now 2 is a prime number, so we cannot divide it anymore, we stop there. Then we do exactly the same thing for 4. We can find it. We are divided by 2. This is the smallest prime number we can use to divide it 4. And then we got 2 as a result. And so we stop there because 2 is a prime number. Now, we have to find the highest common factor. So all these are factor of 8. Actually, 2 times 2 times 2 is equal to 8. And 2 times 2 is equal to 4, so 2 and 2 are the factors of 4. So we found out the factors, now we have to find out the common factors. Now we can look that there is 1 2 in common and there is another 2 in common. So we found the factors, but we also found the common factor. Now what we have to do is find the highest common factor. There is just the multiplication of all the common factors. So we'll take these 2 that is basically this one, and I take these two, that is basically this one, and I multiply them together. So I will get 4 as a result. So 4 is our highest common factor. So what do we do with the highest common factor? We are going to use the highest common factor to divide top and bottom by our highest common factor, so divided by 4. And we get to 2 over 1, because 8 divided by 4 is 2, and 4 divided by 4 is 1. So we get to the simplest fraction possible. So a fraction with the same value of this one, but just written with the smallest numbers that we can use, just using the highest common factor.